Oh, man, this is going to be a dandy, as the great Keith Jackson used to say. My friend Todd Belmond is with us. He is the principal at the Scotsman Guide, not Scotsman's. How many times have you had to correct people on that? You think it's in the tens of thousands yet?
It's on a regular basis. It's funny. It's when I do kind of podcasts and these kinds of things where it's always that intro. It's like, like out of the gates. But well, people call me Scott all the time, just out of the blue.
Oh my goodness. It's so good to see you, brother. How you been?
Likewise. No, it's been a few years. I like your intro. You kind of stepped up the game. I like it.
It's been a hot minute. We'll have to put you up in front of the jury to see if we can put your likeness in the opening. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Of course, a lot of people think of Scotsman Guide and they think of the top producer list,
sure,
which it's good to be known for something, right? But there's so much more that you do. And the top producer list, which has taken on many forms over the years, you've added certain things. And I understand this year you're adding something new again. So very, very exciting. But before we get into that, I just wanted to establish the fact that you're a second generation mortgage publication kind of guy. Your father, Gary, started the enterprise when it was a different format, as early as 1984. So 41 years, going on 42 years that you have been in the mortgage publication business in one form or another. I believe that makes you by far the longest standing mortgage publication on earth. Is that right?
I agree. I mean, with the exception of some like American Banker has been around for like 100 years or something like that. But yeah, no, especially within our particular space, the TPO, real estate investor, banker realm, we're the only magazine that I'm aware of that still produces a print magazine as well.
And everybody knows Scotsman Guide. Anyone that's been in the business for any length of time is used to that. It seems like yards and yards long. And I can remember back before the financial crisis, reading the magazine and having it be this thick. See that? Yeah. That's 2 inches thick.
We were up with 212 pages back in like 06, 07.
Yep. And then I can remember it. And then I can remember it going like this. I literally remember it being 20 pages or something.
Yeah, no, like 100%. That it dropped down because we always had the residential and commercial magazines. And we went through some really hard times. We've weathered several big storms, and I think it really speaks to the quality of not only the magazine, the content within the magazine, but we're a resource guide. We've been the leading resource for mortgage originators for more than 30, 40 years now, and people have kind of come up in the industry and have kind of like used us to kind of help grow their business. It's either finding lenders, which is still our primary purpose, is to connect mortgage brokers and real estate investors with direct vetted lenders. And we do that through our magazine lender listings, the lender directory, of course. And then we have a lendersearch.com. So you're able to go on to lendersearch.com and search for residential, commercial, and construction lenders.
Can I tell you what ChatGPT thinks about Scotsman Guide?
I'd love to hear it.
And let's check the accuracy. Let's fact check ChatGPT. It originally started as a pricing and lender directory for mortgage brokers, which is why it became so influential during the wholesale boom of the 90s and early 2000s. For many originators, it functioned as the yellow pages of wholesale lenders. What do you think?
Yeah.
Pretty good?
Yeah, it's still accurate to this day. We have tons of not only wholesale lenders but private lenders running with us. So our main focus are your harder to place loans, your niche products, non-QM and private money, the bridge, construction, fix and flip, DSCR, and of course commercial.
Yeah. So who are you for? Are you for the everyday mortgage person? Are you for the underbelly processors, underwriters? Are you for the originators? Are you for the C-suite?
Right. Yeah, no, so it kind of depends. Our three main products are magazines, our the 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 news, and our lender search. So for the magazine, so with our lender listings and lender connections, those are good for brokers and bankers and real estate investors. All of our articles are good for across the board. And we've been really working on expanding our news staff, um, and that's been a big emphasis for us this last year. We now have representation on both coasts, and so for those that aren't in need of a lender, we still have high quality content running through us, and then of course the rankings. So for the rankings is open for everybody. We have we have rankings for bankers, brokers, bankers, top
Well,
original.
it's closed now, so let's not give people the false pretense that they should be sending in their production numbers, because that closed, I think, at the end of January, and how this thing goes, right? I mean, the politics around. Could we do an hour on just the politics and pressure around the top producer list? Open up that window for us.
Yeah, a lot of companies have really built a employee recognition program around our rankings, where those that achieve that 25 million or 75 loan production are they're put into president clubs where there's different recognitions, and they use it as incentive internally to get people to everybody wants to get ranked. It's about that nationwide recognition for that individual's production, but also it looks great on a resume. People, when you're recruiting, it's great for recruiting. If you have like cross country, they have 660 originators in the rankings this year. And they've been using that as a great recruitment tool. They've expanded that staff, and it really is. Excuse me. It's really growing into kind of like an institution of its own. I mean, people go. We actually go through a lot of vetting to go through this process. I'm dealing with multiple data points for each individual. You can see this is last year's rankings up there. The 2026 rankings will be up April 1st. And you can see that one of the things we require is that all the production needs to be closed under that individual's NMLS license. So like no teams, and we do our best to vet everything, and we ask for additional verification from a financial officer in-house. Yeah, you can see here, this is the full suite of all of our rankings and our features. The rankings, the submission periods are during the first half of the year. Primarily top originators is January 1st through the 31st. And then top mortgage lenders. I'm sorry, so you have the top originators and you have top private originators.
Yeah, isn't the top private originator or something on a little bit newer?
So the top private originators is the first year that we've done this. So we're breaking out. These are the people that aren't necessarily licensed, and they work at private lending institutions. So they've come in and they're submitting their production numbers. I have different product types for them as well. And I have some data for you too when we want to get into as far as what we saw this year from our rankings.
We love data. Everybody wants to hear data. You're going to give us like a sneak peek of what we're going to see here.
I'll give you a little sneak peek here.
A little preview. Come on, let's go. Give it to me.
So we had nearly 6,900 entrants this year. So in order to appear in the rankings, you need to have produced 25 million or 75 loans in 2025 under your own individual NMLS. And combined, so they did over 325 billion in combined, and 795,000 closed loans. 38 billion of that was non-QM, 46 billion was FHA, 34 was VA, and we saw an increase of 4 billion on the brokered volume to 32 billion. And then top women, there's 2,134 top women this year, which is an increase of over 300. There was 1,800 on it last year. So really good representation for the women out there. And on top of that, the veterans, we have a top veteran ranking that we produce. So there's veterans of military services, and that's at 190, up from 136.
Man, that's good. That's good stuff. So I can't see it. I love visuals, but I can't see it at the moment. But what is the number that jumps out the most to you? Is it in the non-QM space? Is that where you're seeing this bubble start to expand, or is there something else that jumps out even more?
Yeah, the non-QM, there we saw an increase of 9 billion in the production this year, which is significant.
And this is just among the people that are submitting, correct? You're not.
Correct. This is out of the 6,900 originators that submitted. Their average is about 57 million. If you look through when you average everything out there, it's the one thing that we continue to see is the increase in the amount of brokered volume. We saw a 20% increase in the number of traditional kind of bankers that are brokering out. So
now you've seen that before, though, right? This is not the first time that the pendulum has swung that way. Do you have any sense at all whether it's going to swing back to the middle more, or whether this time it's really going to continue to climb?
I think it's going to continue to climb. I think the industry is under a ton of stress, and so are the borrowers. There's a lot of the lending products fall outside of the box of your traditional lenders. That's just it. And I know that a lot of lenders out there are allowing people to dabble in some brokering. Obviously, they don't want that to be all that they're doing, but in order to kind of retain talent, they allow them to broker out a small percentage of their loans.
Right.
Because a lot of companies just don't deal with like the private money stuff. They don't deal with bridge or short term or construction or some of these other commercial products in particular.
Yeah. So is there a particular story of a pissed off lender? Either you didn't get their numbers right or you didn't get them in on time. Like how, because people are very serious about their numbers, right? And you are known as the pinnacle of the top producer lists of lists. So I'm sure you have a story or two, without naming names, of just how ferocious.
Yeah, I won't name names, but I know a large institution didn't submit one year, and they ended up they cleaned their marketing. They cleaned house in their marketing department. They got rid of like 4 or 5 people.
Dude, this serious.
They were not playing around.
Dude, who doesn't play around? Yeah, the LOs. The LOs don't play around. If you miss that cutoff, dude, it's
the
like
other thing that we've seen multiple times is companies that purchase another company and then forget to submit that company's originators.
And does that
multiple times where there's like 40 people?
To you? Does that get all the way up? Does that get all the way up the ladder to you, or you've got to have a conversation with someone at that point?
Yeah, no, we'll do what we can to, get somebody in like that, especially a high value client like that. I'll go out of my way to get people in last minute, just because, it's important to recognize, these individuals and their productions, and it's important for the companies. So we're always accommodating. I mean, between you and me, I just let somebody come in the other day because they've been ranked for so many years that they reached out and they're just like, bro, can I get in? I'm like, okay, and I looked them up. I know who they are. So I'm like, okay, I'll let you in,
Yeah.
But
I have to say, we've been around, NFM's been around almost 30 years. I know that I've called you multiple times, leaned on you multiple times, and you always do the very best that you can. So on behalf of me and everyone else who gets in at the last second or after the deadline, thank you.
Yeah, no. And we've kind of saved a lot of bros over the years, in trying to help people out, it's about getting the most accurate data and the most people in the rankings recognized.
I mean, I know people who have left companies because the marketing departments have screwed that up. That's how important
Yeah.
It is. That's a big responsibility. This emphasis that you are putting on news now,
Yes.
very interesting to me, given the ascent of Housing Wire. So, why now? Why are you leaning in? What has their ascent done to open up your eyes to what's possible?
For us, we've always been hyper focused on high quality journalism. And, one of the things we've seen over the years is people putting out a lot of slop. I think that there's a lot of AI article slop out there. And, we're really focused on creating high quality, objective news journalism that's focused on very specific real estate, mortgage, and monetary policy. It's one of the reasons that people turn to us when they don't have need for a lender. Like we mentioned earlier, the different personas that are using Scotsman Guide. There's a lot of individuals that sign up for our the daily newsletter. If you go online, it's 100% free. You can go check it out, and you can get all of our daily news in your inbox every morning. And we really focus on educational content, as well as just trying to really create a better, more well-informed originator. So as far as what Housing Wire is doing, they have a ton of different products, and they're all kind of all over with their content. We're very focused on our channel, and we may be a little bit that's just been is to kind of stay in our lane and really focus on creating the most high quality content and news that people can come to. Because I think one of the things you're seeing is there's so much misinformation. There's so much just poorly written articles out there. So I really encourage everybody to go take a look at our content, and to have your own opinion of it. But we take a lot of pride in all that we produce on the news side.
Excellent. So you've got a writer, you said, on the West Coast. You have a writer on the East Coast. Have you guys ever done conferences?
We have not. We attend them. We'll send magazines to them, but we've not put together a Scotsman Guide conference.
Yeah. I'm curious. You seem very, very hyper focused, which is great, right? If you read books, a lot of books about success talk about not having distractions, kind of zoning it all out and sticking with what you're great at. But you've been around a long time like this. You've had to pivot, right? You've had to take risks. And as you said, during the financial crisis, you went from 200 and some pages to just a few handfuls of pages. So what have you learned about taking the right kinds of risks as an owner through crisis?
When it comes to taking the right, I mean, we've taken multiple risks and made multiple shifts within our company. The key really is, I'm kind of flumping this, but
you're great, dude. Relax.
The key for us is determining whether or not a product is viable or not. We've gone through multiple iterations of different lender listings and other things, and we've learned some really hard lessons along the way. The one thing that we've always really stuck to our guns is the integrity of our journalism. We do not do any kind of pay to play. And I think that, having that high value journalistic integrity has really kind of enhanced our already stellar reputation. And we really want to be seen as the authority and a trusted authority on the mortgage news, and just being a big advocate for the TPO, banker channel.
Yeah. Did you say it's free, the newsletter?
It is free.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Free. Eric does a good job, and I'm in contact with him sometimes, certainly. Yeah. And has a good sense of humor too, by the way. Yeah, not sure if he's shown that to the boss. but
Yeah.
he's a pretty funny guy.
It's fun.
As you look at the roadmap as it relates to technology and AI, of course, you've got to ask these questions. I feel like I ask everybody the questions, but you can't be in the business you're in without some kind of a roadmap to integrate AI into what you're doing. So, what does that look like? What are you starting to imagine?
You know, we have a couple of different things that are in the works. I think we're being a little cautious when it comes to jumping too far into AI. And the one thing that seems like an obvious thing is to have just AI spit out content for us, and we're just not interested in that. We handwrite everything we do. So I don't know that we'll ever really use it to create content like that. But when it comes to other opportunities within the organization, there's internal operational efficiencies that can be helped with some AI products. And we're looking at
queries. Also queries, like you could tie it into your system to say that instead of me having to search for the top 3 women, the top 3 men, and the top 3 VA originators, I could ask the system that, and it would spit it out. That's a possibility, right?
That was my next, right was where I was going with this, is that we're working on a master database for the rankings. It's going to be one thing that we're going to be incorporating into this year. So people will be able to go back through and see all their rankings from all the years. There's some challenges with that because we don't have NMLSs for some of the earlier years. But I think that would be, we have people that have ranked every year. I know a handful of individuals that have for over 17 years have been on our rankings. So
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, it's an accomplishment. I mean,
so yeah, as I mentioned, your father Gary started Scotsman Guide in 1984, and it has iterated several times since then, through thick and through thin. And it really, I feel like you're humming along right now. I mean, are you high stepping right now? Are you feeling great about the business? Do you still see challenges?
It's going to be a challenging year, but we have a lot of great things coming up for ourselves. We're implementing, of course, with the new news, and we're going to be expanding. Well, actually, with the top private originators, I'm real excited about. I think that ranking is going to be real big for us. I think it's important to recognize that particular industry.
Well, going back to that for a minute, top private originators, what are they originating?
They're originating construction, multifamily, DSCR, and fix and flip are the categories.
But they don't have to be licensed, right? No NMLS number for these individuals.
They do not have to be licensed, but they do need to originate.
Is that the distinction? Is that the distinction that qualifies them?
That's the primary distinction, because that's one of the barriers for these individuals for being able to submit for top originators in the past. So the combined, they did over $6 billion for the top private originators. They had over 13,000 loans closed. They did over $1 billion in construction, over $2 billion in fix and flip, and so those are the main products right there: DSCR and bridge construction.
Todd, how does Scotsman Guide make money?
Paid advertising. Lenders. The lenders are paying for to get in front of our readership, and we also have the magazine. There is we charge for the magazine. So if you want the print version, digital version of the magazine, there is a fee associated with that. In fact, I've put together a code for NFM for a discounted subscription for your listeners here.
Why not just for everyone? Because more people outside of NFM listen to this than inside.
Oh, no. I'm just saying it's a code from NFM because they've listened to this recording.
Oh, it's a gift.
Yeah. Anybody who listens to this recording, you're going to get a discounted code for.
I love it. Oh man, let's go for the hard copy of the publication.
Correct. Yeah, it's an annual subscription, 75% off. So.
Whoa. I'll take. Hey, look, I'm in. I'll buy into that, man. Free is. Or close to free is my middle name, brother.
Yeah, we're the only magazine that's going to make you money.
I like it, and I have to say, over the years, some of the best leads that we've gotten in terms of branches and divisions have come from the back of your magazine, where you can take out an ad to talk about what you offer and what it looks like to come over to your institution. So I know you have that. And then the other thing is, sometimes you help me sell a loan officer or a branch manager I might be speaking to. We might be right at the finish line, and it might be us or another lender. And if I say, hey, come here and I'll give you a full page ad in Scotsman Guide to make the announcement, sometimes they're like, whoa, I'm serious. Like that literally happened recently, where a $50 million producer decided to come our way. And, I don't know for sure that's what did it, but I know that once I mentioned that, I got are you serious? Really? Wow. And the next day I got the commitment.
Wow. That's great to hear. No, like you said, there's people care a lot about, this, the rankings themselves. There's a lot of pride, and I think I always like to stress that this is what they're doing is incredibly important. We're looking at, nearly 800,000 families being touched with these originations. These are life-changing moments for people, and that's a massive sampling, and I just think that I think it's really cool. I love our industry for that matter, just because that, you make it's such an impactful, moment for somebody when they're going through financing and everything, and the stress and everything else. Everything that these guys do is I think it's amazing, and I think I'm always thanking them for what they do for the industry, because it's incredibly important.
So you and your brother are steering the ship right now. You're co-piloting, you and Kevin. Yeah. What's it like working with your bro?
We're good. He's much more analytical, more A-type. I'm kind of all over the place. I'm more of a creative guy, and so we work well when we're gelling. When we're in sync, like things just really kind of plug along. I think we're good. We're a great team in that sense. I think that.
What happens when you disagree?
He typically wins because he's a better arguer than me. But
that's fair.
Conflicts are unavoidable. But it's always resolved, and we've been doing business with each other for a long time, and we've been owning and operating this for more than 15 years by ourselves. So we've just kind of weathered a lot. You look at all the different downturns from the last 30 years, and we're still around. And I think it really speaks volume to the product that we produce. The fact that we're still putting out a print magazine, I take a lot of pride in that. We're really kind of gearing ourselves up for a long-term future, a long-term success. We have a bunch of debt when it comes to our internal kind of marketing and some of our paid landing pages and that sort of thing. But we're going to be working through all this whole year. The Scotsman Guide will look totally different by the end of this year.
Now, we've already established your second generation. Do we have any young men and women running around the family where this could become a third generation thing?
I do. I have my son. My son Cole comes in. He's been helping me. He actually helped me go through the verification for the rankings. So he comes through and looks at their submissions.
There it is. Hey, this is breaking news.
He's starting to really understand the industry. He's 16, so he'll be 17.
That's okay. This could be breaking news right here. I might be breaking news with the news guy. Cole Belmond might be taking over Scotsman Guide one day.
Oh man, well, I don't know if I wish that on him, but
I get it. Yeah.
He's a good kid. He's just learning the industry and getting involved. It's kind of coming into an office. It's space itself. It's good for him.
Yep. Well, we've been long overdue. Have we left anything on the table here that you want to reveal?
No, just for those listening that are wanting to submit for next year's rankings, just jump on your calendar right now and put January 1st on your calendar for next year. The one thing we do have coming up in the fall are we have annual features where we have the top emerging stars where we recognize people can come in and nominate rising stars within their organization, and then of course the top workplaces, which is where it's a company-wide recognition for standout companies making an impact in the industry.
Cool.
Those are kind of some key things. And just don't forget to go to Scotsman Guide, get yourself signed up for the originator, 100% free, and go check out Lender Search for those loans that are hard to place, that are sitting on your desk for entirely too long.
Todd Belmond, principal at Scotsman Guide. There's no S on the end, folks, so just remember that.
No.
Great to see you again. We'll do this again in another, 7 or 8 years.
So
I'll see you in 2032. Have a great Monday, everybody. So long.
Take care.